Marine Sergeant John Peck was 25 when he deployed for a second tour of duty to southern Afghanistan. When the war had started a decade earlier, John was a sophomore playing middle linebacker at Jefferson High School in Rockford, Illinois. To tell John's story, my co-host and dear friend, Gary Sinise.
In the beginning of football season, they called me Bean because I was so skinny. So during one of the first practices, I'm the tackler and my opponent is the biggest, toughest guy on the team. I'm petrified of him, but I'm not gonna let him know that. So I go in low, hit him hard, and took him out. And they never called me Bean again. A year after I graduated, I joined the Marines. I left for boot camp 2 days before my 20th birthday. The first week, all I kept thinking was, what have I done? In February 2007, I deployed to Iraq, Al Anbar province in the desert outside Fallujah. Our mission was to regain control of the hottest spot in the country. We were in the middle of nowhere, sleeping on the hoods of our vehicles. We'd patrol into the countryside looking for insurgents, and they were there all right. We were ambushed, hit with mortars, grenades, sniper fire. In August, I'm in the turret of a 7-ton truck, and we hit an IED. The explosion pops me up in the air, and when I fall back down into the turret, my forehead hits a piece of jagged metal. They medevaced me to Germany, did an MRI, and found a tear in the right frontal lobe of my brain. They sent me back to San Diego. I received a Purple Heart, but I lost most of my short and long-term memory, speech, balance, ability to drive, to shoot a weapon, to do pretty much anything. Yet, at the same time, the Marines were my whole life now. Despite my TBI, I forced myself to recover so I could re-enlist. I also met a girl. I fell really hard for her. And we got married on Valentine's Day 2010, 2 months before the unit deployed to Afghanistan. I was 25. The old guy with a 3-man squad roaming around Helmand province, trying to make friends with the locals. On May 10th, leading a sweep for IEDs, I have the metal detector at the end of a long pole out in front of me, and then suddenly, boom! I go flying through the air. There's dirt and colors and shapes and pain. Awful pain. I remember thinking, I don't want to die here. I'm going to die here. Don't let me die here. Then I passed out. I woke up at Bethesda Navy Medical 2 months later. I'd been in a coma, medically induced. They had to amputate both my legs, one at the hip, one at the thigh, my right arm below the shoulder, and my left at the forearm. I could not take it in. I felt a huge sense of loss and grief over what had been taken away from me. But most of all, I just felt anger. I was angry at the doctors, at the physical therapists, everyone except Mom. She'd sit beside me and sing country songs and tell me to hang in there. The worst part, my wife left me after a couple of months. She couldn't take it. She broke my heart. That was the darkest time. And then one day I thought to myself, am I going to live or am I going to die? and I decided enough. I'm going to take back my life, one day at a time. I didn't want sympathy because I wasn't a hero. The heroes were the guys who didn't come home. I was just John Peck. You know, when I was in high school, I learned to play the violin. It was impossible to master, but I made enough progress that I got to be second violin in the orchestra, and that meant I got to sit next to the first violin, who was this awesome, beautiful girl. Definitely worth all the trouble. Maybe that's what coming back from war is all about. Learning how to get back to my life, learning how resilient I really am, to the point where I can help others by paying it forward. Learning to keep my cool and laugh when I mess up because of my prosthetics, and learning to fall in love again.
Please welcome classical crossover star Jackie Evancho.